Hi guys. Hi everyone who's going to be watching this video. My name's Charmaine Macaulay and I'm from Gielgud Therapy. And my work, I'm a psychotherapist, but basically I'm a body psychotherapist. And I was invited quite graciously by the members of To Kill a Mockingbird to work with the core members, basically the Black and Brown members of To Kill a Mockingbird. I'm just going to let them introduce themselves, and we're going to talk quite candidly about what this process has been to them and anything that they might want to bring up today. So who would like to go first? And thank you very much for doing the recording, by the way. Thank you so much. So whoever would like to speak to that, welcome.
My name is T.Y. Musa, and I'm a Tom Robinson understudy. Should I just introduce myself
No,
first?
you're just talking. That's nice. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think this was a really, really interesting journey for me, and I think it's definitely going to be a journey that shifts the way that I show up, not only in theatre spaces and industry spaces, but just how I show up as a Black person, a Black man overall. Because I think I definitely grew up in my life. I would say, for lack of a better word, maybe blissfully ignorant, or I like to not think about race so much because I always felt that I was in a position where I would be one of the fewer members of color, whether that just be in school, my sort of area, and just sort of like my daily walk through in life. So I definitely went through with the sort of naivety, you could say, I guess, just to make everything seem less malevolent, less cruel, less evil. I like to not think, oh, maybe this is happening because of my race. I'd always try and give another reason for it. And that's not even now saying that my mindset is now that everything's to do with the race, but I think it's definitely been uh, changing to realize that you should just be aware of these things and sort of how you carry yourself in certain rooms, and knowing that you can show up as you are without feeling any sort of inferiority or feeling like you're only there because of your race. Um, and I think as well as that, cherishing those moments when you are in spaces with other Black and Brown members, and that when you are in those spaces with them, it's not a competition thing. It's not, okay, we are one of two Black and Brown members, therefore we must be at odds with each other for any reason. It's never the case. And I think, realizing that you can create community in those environments, when you might be the minority, and you can find strength and you can find support in that, and you can uplift each other. Because yeah, I think the older I get, and the sort of more I work in the industry, you sort of realize whether that's unconscious, because some of the stuff that you mentioned, some of these biases aren't necessarily conscious. It's not that people are overtly trying to be racist or anything like that. It's kind of just the system that we're in. It's sort of ingrained in us. And realizing that sometimes it is an unconscious thing, but being aware that it's something that can't be avoided, but having the tools and the voice to speak about your experience and just have the conversation. Because I feel like if you open that dialogue, then you can either change them as a person, or you can at least stop holding all that anxiety or putting the blame on yourself for whatever reason. So I think, yeah, I've definitely learned a lot of tools and learned that it's okay for me to speak up if I'm feeling a certain way about things, and not feel like I'm not going to be heard because I am one of two Black people in this room. So if I speak up, then I might get reprimanded or punished. That might be an extreme way to say it, but obviously these are the sorts of anxieties and thoughts that you may have in your head, or that I've had in my head growing up. So I think I definitely still have a long way to go, but I think I'm definitely feeling more confident in how I show up as a Black man. And I think, yeah, it's important to realize that's what I am. I can't hide it. I can't run away from it. There's no reason to feel any sort of that you're unequal to any other race or any other people in the industry. That aren't necessarily going through the same things that you are. You deserve to be in the space that you are, and holding that space with confidence is something that I'm gonna try and really practice moving forward.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Morning, everyone. So my name is Itoya Osagede. I'm an actor, and I am also a cover understudy for Tom Robinson. In regards to obviously doing this session for a year now, I think that there's a lot of things that TY covered, which I'm not gonna go too deep because that's a lot of things to cover. But there was a lot of valid things that you said. And for me, I think just the most important thing is just having that community whilst doing the show. When we first got the show, when we got this play, when we came into the room collectively, it was clear to see that there was and there still kind of is ignorance to the Black and brown. There is a nonchalant kind of mindset, as T has put, that it's a subconscious. It's not a conscious, and some parts can be conscious depending on what circumstances and situations you find yourself in. But for the most part, it is unconscious, and for us, it's always conscious. At least for me, it's always conscious. And so my conscious and my conscience is always kind of always aware and always seeking. And whilst doing the show at the beginning, before the session, it was very, we tried to create that community within ourselves as a Black and brown global majority. But of course, being actors, being in the positions that we're in, it was tricky to find a safe space, a safe space to be able to meet, to be able to have a conversation, to not feel judgmental or feel judged by, to not be wary of how you say certain things that might come across offensive or taken in a certain way, because that's how we know it, that's how we understand it. And so since doing this session, it has been very, very, very rooted for me to be able to carry on doing the show for a year and 4 months. This show is not about us. It doesn't lift us up as Black and brown folks. It doesn't support us as Black and brown folks. There's part of it that empowers us because, there is a level of kind of camaraderie that we each share whilst going through this together. But however, we are still human beings, first and foremost. So we are vulnerable, we are sensitive, we feel pain, we feel frustration. And so in this space that we've been in for the year, it has been very, very effective to be able to just say things and feel things and just blurt out whatever that comes to your mind without any, without trying to hold back. And because this session has also been quite accessible, even though we fought for this session, which is its own thing in itself, to be able, this support was not there for us from the beginning. And you would think it would be, but we as a Black and brown folks, we did fight for this. and we got this space and we worked together. And whilst doing that, and whilst coming to the sessions, I found that as brothers, as three Black men in the show, and the other Black women in the show, we have come together somewhat, even you know, through our own individual you know, situations. There's always that underlying support that we have, you know, particularly me, Tiwa, and Jude. You know, we've come a long way, and we've built such a strong bond. I feel, anyways, that no matter what happens, we've got each other's back whilst doing the show, and that has been very empowering for me as a Black man. Always and always have been aware of my beautiful Black skin. I've always been aware that people will look at me, will say my name wrong, will kind of come ignorant or talk ignorant to me in certain conversations. And beforehand, I would always call out and say, interesting. And now I am finding, and I'm still finding, tools to be able to use, which Charmaine has been very generous and just been very skillful to give us, on how to approach certain circumstances. That doesn't limit you yourself, doesn't take away yourself as a person, as a human being, but also doesn't put yourself in a predicament that you wouldn't feel comfortable being in. So I wasn't even intending to talk this long, but clearly,
okay.
Opening this conversation is good. So I have enjoyed, and I am enjoying these sessions, and it has been very rooted for me. There's been moments where I needed more, and there's been moments where I needed less. But the fact that we've been showing up has been the biggest achievement for me. And then whatever you take from that, whatever you use from that, that is then down to you as an individual. So for me, I've been grateful, and yeah.
Wow, you're rocking today, Toya. Sounds so cool. Love it, love it. And last but not least, Jude.
Hi, my name is Jude Owusu, and I play Tom Robinson in To Kill a Mockingbird. Oh, it's been great listening to you guys talk, actually. This whole journey has been incredible. I mean, for somebody who I had never been in a therapy session ever before, it just wasn't something that my family or my friends ever spoke about or, you know, participated in. This journey has been amazing because listening to you guys talk, I was just thinking of all the different highlights that we've had. And there have been so many. I think for me, these sessions, at the core of it, have actually really been about community. The overwhelming sensation I had for most of the journey of doing this role or being in this show was often a feeling of loneliness, feeling alone. Already we're a minority in terms of race. And with that comes challenges that I think often, because we're so used to those challenges, you try and cope with it as best as you can. So just a typical example, speaking out about any injustice or anything that you feel is not right, and not feeling like you have that agency. Being part of this community has really given me a sense of belonging, a sense of being supported, being with people that you have a shorthand with. You know, you don't have to say too much. We know how we all feel. We're all part of this process. One of the highlights for me was, like, we did this session where we were looking at each other's faces, and I had TY to look at, and it was incredible. I mean, I still remember that so vividly because I couldn't remember the last time I looked at another black man's face and just appreciated the beauty and the mirror of each other, of ourselves. So yeah, this process has been incredible. I've loved this space as well because it's been a place where it can be many things, but it's always for us. There have been times where we've cried. There's been times where we've raged. There's been times where we've discussed, and it's been a wonderful sort of like a blanket. You know, it's just a wonderful space to know you can come into every Monday morning. I've even come on sometimes when I'm on holiday just because I didn't want to miss. Yeah, it's been fundamental. It's been crucial. It's been invaluable. And you know, to work with you two guys as well, like, and there is no sense of ego. There's no sense of competition. Sometimes brotherhood gets overused, you know, a lot. Sometimes you can call people brothers, and it's just for the moment, and then everyone goes off and does things and never keep in touch again. This may happen with this, but I always feel like whenever us three, sorry, meet up, we'll always have that special connection. That, you know, there was that space and time where we all shared together and grew. And these sessions have been a massive facilitator and contributor to that. So yeah.